Hey, okay, so another day, another dollar. We got hit with really bad weather and I could not make it to the ZX14 to do some fan dangling for quite some time. So it's just been over a week. I ended up coming back here, took a day off, needed some time to do some R&R, and then I realized, why don't I just go and work on the bike? Here I am. This is the bike without the fairings. It looks rough, I know, but high mileage will do that to your bike. Doesn't matter what brand it is, it's gonna get dirty and greasy and grimy. I went ahead and swapped out the air filter with a new K&N breathing filter here for the air box. And as you can see, things look a little bit oily around here. And that's because I suspected we had a valve cover leak. And I believe I was right. I got a flashlight here. Let me just go ahead and show you guys with the flashlight. So just here on the side cover of the motorcycle, you'll notice there's a goldish brownish fluid leaking and seeping from the valve cover. And these things are notorious for having malfunctioning valve cover gaskets over a certain mileage. As you can see, there's a lot of residue and oil grime all around the intake runners, all along the side of the hardware and the plugs and whatnot. Kind of comes all along down the side here as well, in the front. So with that being said, I think it'll be great to optimize performance before going to a dyno tuner, get the valve lash done along with a valve cover gasket. And while they're doing that, the O-ring gaskets for the ignition coils, along with the spark plugs. Once that's all done, I'll know and have a peace of mind that this bike's gonna be running at optimal performance without any issues. These are things that you have to go over with a bike with higher mileage, especially a performance motorcycle, because you'll run into issues and it's just gonna be slowing down and bogging down your engine's performance over time. And if you don't know, this bike has well over 50,000 kilometers on it, which is about 30-ish thousand miles, I assume. So that's a lot of mileage on a bike that's a 2010. And this has only seen so many summers. So I think it's good to just play it safe, make sure we hit all the bases to make sure that this thing is running as good as it can be for its age. So if you guys saw in the previous videos, I took apart the header and exhaust system to get the header decatted. This generation of ZX14 came with a catalytic converter in the header collector pipe, which is kind of unfortunate if you ask me, because it really slows down the performance and airflow of the exhaust system. So we went ahead and get that decatted with the help of a wonderful neighbor and friend, Sewing with Fire. Go ahead and show him some love. I'll leave a link to his page down in the description below. So big shout out to him. I really appreciate him. He's come in clutch many times. He's been a very, very helpful assistant to some projects I've had, and he does a wonderful job. So when I was told that these bikes have a cat in it, I knew exactly who to take it to help me with that. Now, I'm not gonna go ahead and advise to do that because that's breaking the rules in a lot of states and provinces, but I just wanna do this because I wanted to optimize the performance and the longevity of my bike, knowing that there was a little bit of a clog in my catalytic converter. Once the header is handed over to me, I'm gonna go ahead and install that on the bike, get the Yoshimura pipes all back on together. And really all that's left with this thing is the front rotor and the intake runners, because we got velocity stacks. So I forgot to mention there's two things that are coming in for the bike that I'm extremely excited about. I had not put this out in the video just yet. We mentioned we have velocity stacks. We mentioned we had a new air filter. We had mentioned that we got our header decatted. And what else is next? Well, we got a GPR stabilizer for the steering column, and we have a Power Commander 5 on the way. The Power Commander 5 is gonna help me ride the bike from here to the dealer to get it serviced. The reason why I want to do that is because with all the mods we're doing, it's not a 15% change in ratio of fuel, ignition, and timing and all that jazz. This is going to require a lot more tuning and fine handling than that, aka a dyno tune, which we're going to do this time. We're not going to go with the remote tuning. No hate about remote tuning, but just want to make sure everything's dialed in perfectly. But I think to save ourselves the headache down the road, it's good to get a Power Commander with all the mods we're doing on the bike so that we can ride it very gently here and there until we can get to the dyno tuner. And we can also ask for a flash tune from DynoJet. That way, I'm not going through a headache of blowing the engine up if in case something goes wrong. So just in case I forgot for whatever reason, I put that there. All right, so here is the header all done up. As you can see, sewing with fire, went ahead and cut into there and removed the catalytic converters. There's 2 rolls, and if I go ahead and shine my light, you can see it's all hollowed out. So there's nothing in there anymore. There's 2. There's one right over here in the far end and one over here behind the collector pipes. So this will actually improve significantly the airflow and the vacuum pull on the exhaust system. So I'm gonna go ahead, try to put this back on the bike. I went ahead and did the due diligence of cleaning out the ports. A little bit of brake cleaner and intake cleaner. Got rid of all the grime. And I got myself, don't judge me, it's in the luggage. I got myself a set of Kawasaki OEM header gaskets. So, should be 4 of them in here. Okay, so just taking a look over here. The copper gasket seems to fit just fine. I went ahead and put a little bit of this gasket maker stuff, the ultra copper, just a small smidget bead all around just to mate towards the surface, and kind of making sure it's on there. It's gonna be hard to get this copper washer gasket kind of in there. As you can see, it's facing down, so whenever you put that into the little exhaust port, it just keeps falling out. So the best thing to do is add a tiny little bead of that stuff onto the header prior to putting it onto the exhaust port. So we're gonna try to do that for the following next little few. And just like that, all 4 are on. It's not perfect, but it'll meet up, slide right in, and hopefully make a perfect seal. We're gonna try to do this. It's only me here, so this might be a pain in the ass. Well, that was an absolute hand cramper, but we were able to get it lined up. It also wouldn't hurt to put a little bit of Loctite in there. I don't know if it's applicable for these threads, but it's good to have it somewhere, just in case. I don't actually know the torque specs on these, but I went snug for now to make sure it's all on there properly, and I'm gonna go over them again to make sure it's all aligned properly. But it's on there. Like, I mean, if I wiggle this thing, this header's not moving at all. So it's seated properly, and it may not look like it on camera, but this is how the header looked like before I took it off. So yeah, I'm really happy with it so far. That's good. It's always easy going until the last bolt or 2. I just experienced the most aggravating situation where everything was lined up and threading on perfectly except this last exhaust runner, where the last bolt would not go in. And that's because, I didn't realize it, but from the beginning, it was bent. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a slight little bend there. So that's not gonna go on. It'd probably be a good idea if I'd also gotten new header bolts for this bike when I was putting these things back on. I didn't think of it because I'm so used to doing other exhaust work on other cars, but on motorcycles, I assume it's probably the best thing to do is to replace the bolts, because these things go through so much heat exchange that they probably do warp and change over time. So if you're doing this, I advise that you get yourself a new set of header nuts and bolts so that you can get this installed without any headaches like I overcame. So definitely gonna be replacing that. Go to a fastener shop and see if I can get a new one of that. But wow, that was very aggravating. I'm really glad I didn't actually destroy the thread inside the block. I think it's safe because I kept threading it with the other ones and it was fine. It just happened to be this last little piece here that was being a pain in the butt. I put it in as far as I could. That sounded really wrong, but it wouldn't go past the first or second thread, as you can see there. It got stuck and ended up actually pushing this from the top down to the bottom where the hat originally used to sit. So I actually completely wrote this thing off, so I have to get a new one now. But it is safe to say the header is installed on the ZX14. We're gonna remount the radiator, and there's no leaks from it, so that's good. It's always a good idea to get that rad mount completely undone and loosen that thing up so you can actually get some space. You can do the header on this thing, it's just very, very tight. So with that being done, I'll be able to get the Yoshi pipe slipped back onto this thing, and then we should be good to go. I can't help but laugh, but this is so funny. I labeled all my bolts and such, right? I put one for a horn. I think my partner had other things in mind, so she wrote this down. She's probably messing with me, but this is gonna be for the horn. We got some other bolts there for the rad mount. We're gonna go ahead, get that started. That's hilarious. Slowly coming together, guys. We got the one side of the exhaust on. I really am picky with the alignment of the mufflers because it's a dual exhaust setup. So that means there's gonna be a lot of, you know, triple, quadruple checking on both sides because I'm really OCD about that. But anyways, we're gonna try our best anyways. Oh my God. Guys, let me just catch my breath here. This was not hard, but the room I'm dealing with right now. This is like my play area in the shop, so it took a lot of effort and elbow grease, but we were able to get the slip-ons on without taking apart too many of the pieces. But one side is different than the other. The one side that's different than the other is the one that has the extra flange to meet up with the chassis down below over here underneath your skid plate. And you'll have to get that matched up. But getting this slid on took a little bit of some lubricant spray. So that helped a lot, line it up as best I could. I mean, just to show you how it looks like mocked up, it's not horrible, but kind of works. All right, just like that, guys, header is installed. Got the exhaust system all installed here. She's aligned, she looks good. Everything's tightened up. And yeah, I guess we'll get on to the other modifications and maintenance down the road. But this is gonna end it for this day here. I also have no idea if Ali Cooney is the stock throttle bodies for these bikes, but anyways, just noticed that.